Hello everyone, Nigel the Review, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and as you can see we have some very small plastic parts on the bench and a very small plastic bulkhead, and this is going to be a test of Outlaw paints, and it's the first time I've ever used them. Now these are going to be coming into the UK very shortly. I think they're going to be launched at Telford in November, and basically they're not brand new, but they're brand new to me, and they're pretty brand new to everyone this side of Australia really. These paints have come with quite a reputation. If you go and look at Ozscale Modelling, he's done a full build of the 1/200th Yamato, and he's totally used Outlaw paints, and I don't think he's used anything else. I'm not sure if it can be brush painted. I don't think it can, so any small detail and stuff you'll still have to stick with your Viejo and stuff like that. But I've got some colours here. These have been sent from Spruebox, which is going to be the sole UK importer of this product. And as you can see here, we've got RAF Trainer Yellow. We have Medium Green, which has been sent for the camouflage colour on this Hurricane, which is actually wrong. I'm going to have to darken it up a bit, which is fine. We've got the RAF Dark Earth. We've got White. This is for the underside, because this is going to have the black and white undersides. And we've got some RAF Black in a nice broken bottle. So I've got here primer as well, a black primer, and RAF Cockpit Green. This is actually called, Outlaw Paints have called this beige green. I don't know why, but it's, if you look for on the Spruebox website, it's called beige green. Now, I'm told, I've been in touch with Jason for a couple of years now, and Jason's always said he's going to send me some of this, and he never has. I can understand why, because I should imagine the postage is probably $100 or something. But Jim over at Spruebox has actually sent me these to test out and do a video with. So I'm going to do a very short video initially, which is just going to be using the RAF green. I'm also going to test out the primer. I've got a piece of scrap plastic. This is a Typhoon wing. I've got a piece of scrap plastic here to use as a dummy. And what I'm going to do here, I've cleaned this off with alcohol, and I'm going to see what it's like, what the paint is like on bare plastic, how resilient it is to being scratched off and stuff once it's dry. I'm also going to test the primer on here as well, just to see what it's like, just to see how it paints, because I'm led to believe, Jason has told me this is the best primer on the planet. So we shall see. As far as I'm concerned, there's two best primers on the planet in my opinion, and that's this one, which is the MRP Fine Surface Primer. This is available in black, grey and white. And also you've got the Mr. Finishing Surfacer 1500 Black. And you thin that with leveling thinners, and they are what I think are the two best primers. I am assured this is better. The downside of this, it absolutely stinks. And it's very, very thin, so you use a lot of it. That's the downside of that one. The Mr. Surfacer really has no downsides that I can think of. You can thin it to the inch of its life and it sprays beautifully, and you can brush paint it and everything. It's lovely. This stuff, you spray it straight from the bottle, so we shall see. I may also give it a go, see if I can thin it with some leveling thinner, see how it likes that. But this we're going to do Cockpit Green. So I've already done the silver on here. This is Tamiya LP72 mica silver, and for some reason Airfix are telling us to paint the inside of the cockpit grey at the bottom and green on the top. I don't know, I'm just going to go along with it because it'll probably look good. They also tell you to paint this headrest here brick red, which I can only assume they're thinking that's the colour of the dope linen, was like a brick red colour, but that was painted green. I'm 99.9% sure of that. So this will be, as I say, this will be a very short video initially, just doing the cockpit green, test of the primer, and we'll see how it goes. And I'm not going to turn the camera off initially. I have never ever sprayed this. I haven't even opened the bottle. You can see it's still got this horrible little plastic seal in there, and I know that when I open it, because I opened the yellow, it's going to spray everywhere. So let me see if I can get this off without using any tools, because when I open the yellow, it sprayed everywhere. I might have to turn the camera off or just fast forward or something, because you don't really want to see this, do you? Because this isn't the bottle the paints will come in. The paints will come in a 30ml bottle, very similar to the old Outlaw bottles. And I think price-wise they're on a par with MRP, but I do believe they are a bit thicker, so I think they will go a lot further. But just like, see, that's sprayed out of there. Just like MRP, they are designed to be sprayed direct from the bottle which has its advantages. The advantage is you can spray it, put it straight in your airbrush, and as long as your airbrush is nice and clean, you can pour the excess back in. And obviously, as I say, this isn't the bottle it's going to come in. It's going to come in a bottle very similar to this. This is the Outlaw size bottle. You can see the difference in size. Okay, it's a 30 milliliter bottle, as I say. So that's how it's going to come. So the beauty is you can pour this. It's quite smelly. You can pour this straight into the airbrush and spray it. So I'm on about 18 psi. I've cleaned the airbrush thoroughly with Mr. Tool Cleaner, so there's nothing in there. I've lubricated the packing and I've cleaned all the nozzle and everything. I've absolutely cleaned it out thoroughly, so we shouldn't have any issues at all. Now, as I say, you shake this up. It's quite heavily pigmented, and I'm just going to pour this in here. Here we go. We've got plenty in there. I've got some down the side of the airbrush to get rid of, so I'll put the airbrush to one side. I've got some down the side of the bottle to do that, and I'm going to put the lid on in case we knock the bottle over. Okay, so there we go. So this is our cockpit green. As far as colour goes, it looks just right to me. Maybe it's a tad too dark, but it's certainly got that proper cockpit green colour to it. It's very, very nice. Maybe it could just do with knocking back a bit, just a touch. Maybe I'll do a little test of that later. But it looks very nice. Now, this is the first time I have ever sprayed Outlaw paints, and the first time I'm going to do it is on a piece of paper towel. So let's see what it's like. So 18 psi, and it appears to spray very nicely indeed. So what we'll do first of all, we'll try it on our bit of scrap. Now, this is an acrylic lacquer. You need a booth, you need a mask, you need ventilation, or all three. Okay. You shouldn't be spraying it without a mask. I am now, just for this test, so I can talk while I'm doing it. But basically, I would normally be doing it in my booth. I've got a Bart Sharp twin extractor booth, which is absolutely amazing. If you haven't got one, go and get one. Go back and look at my reviews. If you search my videos for Bart Sharp, you'll see I did a review of it. It's absolutely awesome, and you can spray in that, and the room doesn't smell at all. So it's a very, very efficient extractor. So I'm going to test it on here first. I haven't stuck my sticker down because I don't want to waste it on a mat. So let's see what it's like. So as I say, 18 psi, and I must say the coverage appears to be awesome. It's drying off very, very fast. It's got a matte finish to it. It is very smelly. So as I say, you need a mask as a minimum. So yeah, I mean, that is 2 thin coats and that's covered. Now let's just try it on here to see how you can see how the coverage is. That's why I sprayed this back of the fuselage in it, in the grey. So there's one thin coat. And as you can see, that's got a green hue to it straight away. So in my opinion, as far as coverage goes, it's superior to MRP. There's 2 thin coats, and that is pretty much covered. I'm just going to knock back to air and just dry it back a bit, and then here's 3 thin coats, and you can see that is covered excellently. So let's get on now and do our cockpit. I'm going to come in from all the angles. That's done. Wow. As you know, guys, and as Jim knows and as Jason knows, I am honest. And if I think a product is not good, I will tell you it's not good. As you know, and the people that supply me with bits and pieces, they also know that if it's not good, I will say so. And they're prepared to take that chance. So if you are, I've just noticed I've got a bit of flash there. I'm just going to remove that bit of flash. This is not part of the Outlaw Paints trial. The flash is not the fault of the paint. The flash is the fault of Airfix. Naughty Airfix. So just get rid of that. Not perfect, I know, but blow that in. Right, it's still there. I'll take it out later. In fact, I'll take it out and then I'll I'll just turn the camera off and I'll just touch that in, because you don't want to watch me removing flash, do you, in a paint test video. So I am very, very impressed with that. I'm going to see what it's like if you can flood it on. Let's see what happens if you flood it on. So if I go in here, and you can see it's just like any other paint. Spider it, and you can see how fast it dries. So yeah, you don't want to be flooding it, but if you just spray it normally, you know, it's that nice, I don't want to waste anymore. I will definitely be buying a bottle of RAF Cockpit or Beige Green to use. It's wonderful, and you're going to see me use this on the A20 build. I may knock it back a bit because I think it might be a tad too dark, but we shall see. So I'm just going to clean up a bit of flash and then just blow it in again. I haven't done the bulkhead, have I? Let's get this bulkhead done. It's wonderful. It's very, very nice indeed. Very, very impressed. Really, truly am very impressed. So there we go. Right. I'm going to get rid of this bit of flash, blow it in, clean the airbrush out, and then we'll see what the primer's like. Okay, so as you can see, unmasked, you can see the finish on that green is lovely. It really is nice. It's like satin smooth. It's beautiful. So yeah, so far, very impressed. Why is it every time I talk I get a frog in my throat? Only seems to be when the camera's on. Right, so that's that done. Unmasked there. I used liquid mask on the edge. But there's our bulkhead all done in the green, so that's going to look great when it's fitted. If you haven't seen this already, I'm doing a build for beginners of this Hawker Hurricane, but I'm not covering painting. I'm going to cover that in a separate series of videos. But basically, got the wing built up here. So I didn't get any silver, so I'm having to use Tamiya LP. Was it LP72 I'm using, like a silver for the painted silver bits. So there we go. So I've got some black primer. Opened it, got it all over my fingers because I opened it, and I've got some black primer in here, and just give that a blow back. This is directly out of the bottle, no thinning or anything. So as I say, Jason has told me that I will never want to use another primer as long as I use this. I personally don't believe that, but we shall see. Right, so let's see what it's like. We'll just test it on there first. It's still at 18 psi. Just putting it down. It's going down nice and thin. I've got to be honest, if you told me this was MRP, I'd believe you. It's drying extremely fast. And it's very, very nice indeed. I think MRP is slightly finer. Now, as you can see, that's touch dry in a few seconds really. It's certainly a lot finer than Mr. Surfacer, but with Mr. Surfacer it depends how much you thin it. But this is what we need. We need an alternative, because at the moment black Mr. Surfacer is unobtainium. It's just not available anywhere. And now the black MRP, because that is the suggested alternative to it, that's also not available now. So we need an alternative, and I've said to James that he needs to get like gallons of this stuff in, because if this is as good as MRP and Mr. Surfacer, and it certainly appears that it is, he's got a market there, because MRP and Mr. Hobby can't keep up with demand. So let's try putting it on quite wet. As you can see, it's gone down really nicely. Personally, I think MRP is a lot finer, but MRP is also a lot thinner. So you will use a lot more of it. For example, if you buy a 30ml bottle of MRP black primer and a 30ml bottle of this, I think you would probably paint a whole B17 in 30-second scale in one bottle of paint. I don't think you would with MRP. I think you'd need two. So, you know, if the cost of this is equivalent to the MRP, then this is in effect half the price compared to MRP. So, but yeah, I think the MRP is a lot finer. If I was spraying some 1/350th scale ship photo etch, I think I would use the MRP because it is so fine. But for anything else, this is just, it's just lovely. It really is very, very nice indeed. Now, something I want to try, I want to see, this could be wasteful. I'm going to see if I can thin it back with levelling thinners. The pipette is nice and clean, so I'm going to thin this roughly 30%. Okay, so we're adding 30% thinners in there. Just blow it back, give it a mix. Have a brush, give it a mix in the airbrush. I just want to see if it turns it to cottage cheese, or if it thins it, or if, how it sprays when it's thinned. Because we all know that we all love to thin our paints, don't we? Let's just quick blow back. What's it going to spray like now? As you can see, it's obviously a lot thinner, so it's not covering as well. Dry it back. Yeah, it doesn't seem to like being thinned. As you can see, it looks like I've gone way over the top with the thinner, but that was only about 30%, but it looks like it's way, way, way too thin. So, but you can still use it. As you can see, if I spray it over this green here, it's just completely lost all its coverage. So obviously Jason has got the optimum mix. And there's 3 coats and it's still not covered that green. That's 2 coats there, isn't it, or 3 coats, and it's completely solid. So I guess, guys, the thing is don't thin it. So I'm going to put that little plastic cup back in. I think what I'm going to do, I've managed to fill that lid up with paint. I think what I'm going to do is decant this into an old Tamiya jar, because these bottles are a bit of a pain with this sealing cap in the lid. I shouldn't have shaken it, should I? That's what I've done. I've shaken it and got paint in the lid. But we'll put that back on there now. I'll clean the lid out with a cotton bud. I can do this later. On the whole, we just whop that paint up. It cleans your mat as well, look. So there you go. On the whole, I am very, very impressed. And I will be buying, I mean, all I've used is the cockpit green and the black. That's all I've done. I haven't done anything off camera whatsoever. And I will be buying some black primer and some cockpit green, I can tell you that now. For sure, for definite. So I'm going to get my order in to Jim ASAP. I have apparently got some coming from Australia. But I don't know. Jason's been saying that for years now. So, or at least a year anyway. So we shall see. But very, very impressed. Now, I just want to do a quick test. Durability. Now, as we know, MRP and Mr. Hobby are very, very resilient. Stuff like Viejo is just totally non-resilient. But you can see this hasn't been on here for very long at all. And I am able to remove it with my fingernail. Yeah, I am able to scratch it off. So, I mean, you're never going to do this to your model anyway. But it's not, I would say it's not as resilient as MRP, but it could be after 24 hours it will be absolutely fine. I'm going to do another video, because now we've got another sort of major paint brand coming into the country. I think it would only be fair to compare it with other common paints like Tamiya, MRP. You've seen me do paint videos in the past where I've compared Mr. Hobby, MRP, you know, AK, Real Colour and all that. I'll do another one and include this, because I think we really have got a winner here. I really do. I really do think we've got a winner. The resilience side of things really comes in when you've got radio controlled models and stuff you're going to be wargaming, handling, touching and everything. And you know, as we all know, Viejo sprayed, or AK, the bottle stuff, sprayed directly on plastic. You just scratch it off with your finger easily. Whereas this stuff, it seems to be very, very nice indeed. And as I say, that's only been on there a few minutes. And yes, I can scratch it, but it's certainly not like Viejo. Okay, so there we go. So yes, 9.5 out of 10 at the moment, and if it toughens up, it'll be 10 out of 10. But as I say, it doesn't really need to be that tough. You need to be able to sand it without it all peeling off like that horrible bloody polyurethane stuff does. And if I come with this old bit of sanding stick, you can see that's sanding absolutely fine, even before it's properly dried. And there, look, it's sanding absolutely fine. It's not just peeling up. You can feather it and everything. That's the main thing. You can feather it out. I'd say I'll leave it 10 out of 10. It's I think anything would do that after this short time. 10 out of 10. Absolutely amazed. 10 out of 10. I mean, the colour I think is just a tad dark, but it's certainly got that cockpit green colour to it. But did I say I was going to use this on my A20 build? If I did, I'm stupid because it's the wrong colour. Idiot. I use it on something though. So yeah, very, very. I can't. I was going to say I used it on my Qatari Spitfire, but that's not the same green, is it either? I'll use it on the Anson. I'll use it on the Avro Anson. There we go. So yeah, very, very impressed. So that's my little tiny, what's that bit, like 20-minute video testing Outlaw paints. And as I say, they're available from Spruebox. Get your order in. You can pre-order them now. You go on the website. It's got the full range on that it's got for sale, and you can order them there. So I'll put a link in the video down below. So thank you, Jason. Thank you, James. And you can say thank you to me because I've just given your product a big thumbs up. And as we know, generally speaking, if I give a product a thumbs up, people believe me because I'll also give it a thumbs down if it's rubbish. And if it was rubbish, people, I would be telling you. I would be telling you. And as I say, this primer, if I was doing something really fine, like I say, 1/350ths photo etch or ships or something, I'd be tempted to use the MRP because it goes down so fine. This one you can thin it, but it doesn't seem to like it very much. But definitely we'll be using this again, and I think we found an alternative to the Mr. Surfacer, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.